The framework suggests that there are certain guiding principles when you draft a document, and there we look at things like conciseness and materiality and so on, and then there are certain key content elements to consider. I think it's important to mention that the framework does not provide a recipe for an integrated report. So the framework won't give you the headings and then you just have to fill in the meaty bits under the headings. It tells you what to consider when you draft an integrated report. So you have to write a document that's relatively short. I mean, I think from a South African perspective, if we look at the listed companies, they average around between 100 and 120 pages, excluding the financial statements. So it must be a concise document presenting material information to the key reader. But you have to tell a story. And the story, in short, would be, I think, you start by introducing the company. So the first few pages would tell you who are we, what business are we in, where do we operate, how many employees do we have, key financial highlights, key highlights with respect to non-financial information like our BEE status and so on, just to introduce the reader to the business. Then you would identify the key strategic objectives and say this is what we want to achieve, and then use that as a guiding, as a guide when you write the rest of the document. So we know where we want to go. Then you would explain to the reader how do we plan to get there. So what's the business model that we employ to achieve our strategic objectives. And then you'll explain to the reader what are the risks and opportunities that might either threaten the achievement of the strategic objectives or contribute to it, and contextualize that for the reader. Then you want to give an operational information, and there you would focus on the key performance indicators. So in other words, what are the indicators that we need to achieve in order to deliver on our strategic objectives. Then you would describe the governance structure. And I think lastly also you have to say something about remuneration. But the integrated report doesn't necessarily give the numbers, so what do we pay, but rather how do we use remuneration to make sure that our executives deliver on their KPCs so that we meet our strategic objectives. And that's the story of the business. So to tell the reader how will we create value in the short, medium and long term given all these factors. I think that, in short, is an integrated report.